You've taken the courses, practiced the scripts, and learned the products inside and out. But despite all your preparation, your pipeline is stalling. The frustration you're feeling right now comes from a very specific place. Your daily output simply isn't matching the potential you know you have. Success in this profession requires two distinct elements. The first is can-do. This covers the mechanics, your data gathering techniques, your presentation skills, and your industry knowledge. It gets you to the starting line. The second element is will-do. This is the behavioral side. It measures whether you actually pick up the phone, follow up, and execute those skills consistently, especially when it feels inconvenient or uncomfortable. We aren't going to look at another sales script today. Instead, today we are going to build your personal 2-a-day execution plan to turn your existing capability into reliable behavior. Because having all the right answers without a repeatable structure to deliver them produces the exact same result as having no answers at all. Step 1 is the execution audit. Take a moment and write down 3 high-value actions you already know how to perform perfectly, but that you haven't been doing consistently. The instinct here is often to search for a missing secret. People buy another course or try a new software tool. When you already possess the skills to get results, adding more information without action just adds noise. This chart shows the reality of how work translates to results. Across the industry, 80% of revenue consistently stems from just 20% of specific targeted sales activities. Results come from applying what you already know. The true value of any professional tool or skill is measured strictly by how often it is used. Look back at your list of 3 skills. Your next step is to choose exactly 2 of them to execute every single day. Focusing on 2 items removes fatigue. Set actions, not goals. Grow my network is an outcome. Call to prospects is an executable task. Even the strongest motivation eventually wears off. When that energy drops, human beings naturally default to whatever feels easiest, often avoiding outreach and follow-up. Setting a clear, restricted quota in advance ensures you stay productive entirely independent of how you happen to feel on any given morning. Let's talk about how you approach those 2 actions. Top performers share a specific trait. They are fundamentalists. They respect the basic steps, and they refuse to wing a conversation. The standard across the industry is surprisingly low. Over 70% of salespeople enter client meetings lacking research, a tailored presentation, or an agreed-upon agenda. In his analysis of extreme success, Malcolm Gladwell notes that individuals who reach the top of their fields do not rely on natural talent. Instead, they invest massive amounts of time into structure preparation. The Beatles spent years playing hours-long sets every night in Hamburg, compounding their practice to master their foundational skills before they ever saw widespread fame. Similarly, Bill Gates spent thousands of hours in a computer lab as a teenager, doing the unglamorous work required to be ready when his opportunity finally arrived. Your next step is to define a non-negotiable 5-minute preparation routine. Write down the research or scripting you will complete before you execute either of your 2 daily actions. Your title doesn't define your professionalism. The continuous, intentional preparation you put into every interaction is what sets you apart. Structure only holds up if it is measured. To keep these habits from sliding back into theory, you need a way to grade your actual behavior against your intentions. This visual represents your primary accountability check. At the end of each day, disregard the question, "Did I know what to do?" Knowledge is not the hurdle. Look at your output instead and ask, "Did I do the right 2 things today?" Take out your phone and set a daily recurring calendar event with that exact question, or write it on a sticky note and place it directly on your monitor. This binary prompt removes all the gray area. It forces you to stop evaluating your day based on how busy you felt and start grading it entirely on your tangible output. 2 intentional tasks completed daily will quickly outperform scattered bursts of intense, exhausting effort. Measuring these daily micro-behaviors is the single most reliable way to build and maintain long-term momentum in your business. Let's review the framework you just built. You have defined 2 explicit daily actions, established a rigid preparation routine, and set your daily accountability question. Stepping into the will-do mindset is an active daily choice. It requires you to execute before you feel completely ready, rather than waiting for some innate burst of inspiration. Stop trusting your willpower to get things done. Lean entirely on the structural system you have just put in place. The gap between capability and execution disappears the moment you act. The results you're looking for depend entirely on the two things you finish today.